When did you realize your dad was a horrible person? 1. When I came out as transgender, my dad was distant but said he was trying to understand. I figured he just needed time to adjust. A year later, I started getting harassed online, anonymous messages calling me slurs, saying I was an embarrassment, and even mocking personal things that only someone close to me would know. One day, my mom caught him typing furiously on his laptop and discovered he was behind the messages. He had created multiple fake accounts just to harass me. When I confronted him, he said, "I was trying to toughen you up. The world won't go easy on you." I cut him out of my life that day, realizing I couldn't trust someone who was supposed to protect me. 2. When I turned 16, I wanted to go out with my friends to celebrate. We planned to hit a few bars. My dad freaked out and said, "No daughter of mine is going to bars." I tried explaining it was harmless, but he wouldn't budge, calling me irresponsible and saying I was trying to act older than I was. Meanwhile, he'd let my brother stay out all night at the same age. It was the first time I realized how controlling and unfair he was, and it completely ruined my birthday. 3. When I got my first paycheck at 16, I was so excited to finally have my own money. My dad saw it and said, "You owe me rent now that you're working," and took half of it. I later found out he spent it on beer. That was when I realized he saw me as a piggy bank, not his kid. 4. When I was in my early 20s, my mom sat me down and told me she and my dad were divorcing. I was shocked because they always seemed happy or at least functional. Then she dropped the bomb. My dad had been cheating on her for 8 years with his best friend, who also happened to be a guy. Looking back, it all started to make sense. The constant guy trips, the late night hangouts, the inside jokes that felt too personal. I confronted him, and he didn't even deny it. He just said, "Your mom and I were never really in love like that." It wasn't just the betrayal of my mom, it was realizing how much of his life and ours had been a lie. 5. My dad always promised to come to my soccer games but rarely showed up. One day, I saw him at the park playing golf with his buddies while my team was playing on the field next door. When I asked why he didn't come over, he said, "I didn't want to embarrass you." I realized then he'd always choose himself first.